The Serengeti National Park is a Tanzanian national park in the Serengeti ecosystem in the Mara and Simiyu regions. It is famous for its annual migration of over 1.5 million white-bearded wildebeest and 250,000 zebra and for its numerous Nile crocodile. History. The Maasai people had been grazing their livestock in the open plains of eastern Mara region, which they named Endless Plains, for around 200 years when the first European explorer, German Oscar Baumann, visited the area in 1892. The name Serengeti is an approximation of the word used by the Maasai to describe the area, Serengeti, which means the place where the land runs on forever. The first Briton to enter the Serengeti, Stuart Edward White, recorded his explorations in the northern Serengeti in 1913. He returned to the Serengeti in the 1920s and camped in the area around Seronnera for 3 months. During this time, he and his companions shot 50 lions. Because the hunting of lions made them scarce, the British colonial administration made a partial game reserve of 800 acres in the area in 1921 and a full one in 1929. These actions were the basis for Serengeti National Park, which was established in 1951. The Serengeti gained more fame after the initial work of Bernhard Xenk and his son Michael in the 1950s. Together, they produced the book and films Serengeti Shall Not Die, widely recognized as one of the most important early pieces of nature conservation documentary. To preserve wildlife, the British evicted the resident Maasai from the park in 1959 and moved them to the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. There is still considerable controversy surrounding this move, with claims made of coercion and deceit on the part of the colonial authorities. The park is Tanzania's oldest national park and remains the flagship of the country's tourism industry, providing a major draw to the northern safari circuit encompassing Lake Mara National Park, Tarangire National Park, Arusha National Park and the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. Geography. The park covers 14,750 square kilometers of grassland plains, savanna, riverine forest, and woodlands. The park lies in northwestern Tanzania, bordered to the north by the Kenyan border, where it is continuous with the Masai Mara National Reserve. To the southeast of the park is the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, to the southwest lies Maswa Game Reserve, to the west are the Ikarango and Grumeti Game Reserves, and to the northeast and east lies the Loliondo Game Control Area. Together, these areas form the larger Serengeti ecosystem. The park is usually described as divided into 3 regions. Serengeti Plains, the almost treeless grassland of the south, is the most emblematic scenery of the park. This is where the wildebeest breed, as they remain in the plains from December to May. Other hoofed animals, zebra, gazelle, impala, hartebeest, topi, buffalo, water buck, also occur in huge numbers during the wet season. Kopjes are granite florations that are very common in the region, and they are great observation posts for predators, as well as a refuge for aurochs and pythons. Western Corridor, the black clay soil covers the swampy savanna of this region. The Grumeti River is home to Nile crocodiles, colobus monkeys, hippo, and martial eagles. The migration passes through from May to July. Northern Serengeti, the landscape is dominated by open woodlands and hills, ranging from Seronnera in the south to the Mara River on the Kenyan border. Apart from the migratory wildebeest and zebra, the bushy savanna is the best place to find elephant, giraffe, and dik-dik. Human habitation is forbidden in the park with the exception of staff for the Tanzanian National Parks Authority, researchers and staff of the Frankfurt Zoological Society, and staff of the various lodges, campsites and hotels. The main settlement is Seronnera, which houses the majority of research staff and the park's main headquarters, including its primary airstrip. Wildlife. As well as the migration of ungulates, the park is well known for its healthy stock of other resident wildlife, particularly the Big Five, named for the 5 most prized trophies taken by hunters. Masai lion. The Serengeti is believed to hold the largest population of lions in Africa due in part to the abundance of prey species. More than 3,000 lions live in this ecosystem. African leopard. These reclusive predators are commonly seen in the Serengeti region but are present throughout the national park with a population at around 1,000. African bush elephant. The herds are recovering from population lows in the 1980s caused by poaching and are largely located in the northern regions of the park. Eastern black rhinoceros, mainly found around the kopjes in the center of the park, very few individuals remain due to rampant poaching. Individuals from the Masai Mara Reserve cross the park border and enter Serengeti from the northern section at times. African buffalo, still abundant and present in healthy numbers. Tanzanian cheetah. The Tanzanian cheetah's range has high density in Tanzania and Kenya. The rate of cub mortality varies up to 90% in the Serengeti ecosystem. The park also supports many other species, including Thompson's and Grant's gazelle, topi, eland, waterbuck, spotted hyena, striped hyena, baboon, impala, East African wild dog, and Maasai giraffe. The park also boasts about 500 bird species, including ostrich, secretary bird, cory bustard, crowned crane, marabou stork, martial eagle, lovebirds, and many species of vultures. Administration and protection. Because of its biodiversity and ecological significance, the park has been listed by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization as a World Heritage Site. As a national park, it is designated as a Category 2 protected area under the system developed by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, which means that it should be managed, through either a legal instrument or another effective means, to protect the ecosystem or ecological processes as a whole. The administrative body for all parks in Tanzania is the Tanzanian National Parks Authority. Mills Turner was one of the park's first game wardens and is credited with bringing its rampant poaching under control. His autobiography, My Serengeti Years, The Memoirs of an African Game Warden, provides a detailed history of the park's early years. Snapshot Serengeti is a science project by the University of Minnesota Lion Project, which seeks to classify over 30 species of animals within the park using 225 camera traps to better understand how they interact with each other and lions. Proposed road across the northern Serengeti. In July 2010, President Jakaya Kikwete renewed his support for an upgraded road through the northern portion of the park to link Mtowambu, southeast of Ngorongoro Crater, and Musoma on Lake Victoria. While he said that the road would lead to much-needed development in poor communities, others, including conservation groups and foreign governments like Kenya, argued that the road could irreparably damage the Great Migration and the park's ecosystem. The African Network for Animal Welfare sued the Tanzanian government in December 2010 at the East African Court of Justice in Arusha to prevent the road project. The court ruled in June 2014 that the plan to build the road was unlawful because it would infringe the East African Community Treaty, under which member countries must respect protocols on conservation, protection, and management of natural resources. The court, therefore, restrained the government from going ahead with the project. Proposed extension of park boundaries to Lake Victoria. Government officials have proposed expanding the Serengeti National Park to reach Lake Victoria because increasingly intense droughts are threatening the survival of millions of animals. References. Further reading: Homewood, K.W. and Rogers, W.A., Marceland Ecology, Pastoralist Development and Wildlife Conservation in Ngorongoro, Tanzania, New York, Cambridge University Press. ISBN 0-521-40002-3. Turner, Mills, My Serengeti Years, The Memoirs of an African Games Warden, New York, W. W. Norton, ISBN 0-393-02576-4. External links: Super Pride, National Geographic Channel, Serengeti official website, Serengeti National Park, Tanzania National Parks Authority, WCMC World Heritage Site, Serengeti, Map of Serengeti National Park.